Hello all, and welcome back to Chreos Gaming. I am continuing my playthrough of Morrowind as the Khajit Thief troll, and we are in the exposition heavy, and actually dungeon crawl heavy, section of the playthrough where we're on the main quest line trying to find out about the Nerevarine, kind of. So we are now trying to accomplish the third trial. Sulmatul said that we needed to talk to Ashlanders to find out about it. So Tusaradad says, "Welcome, favored guest. My yurt and hearth are yours." Awesome. Okay, Eye of the Needle was one of the clues. What say you about the Eye of the Needle? This token of our tribe, Malupu Ataman's belt, is proof of Sulmatul's blessing. Let me think. Perhaps you mean the Needle. It is a tall rock column in the Valley of the Wind. I have slept beneath it once or twice. The Valley of the Wind is a valley on the northeast slopes of Red Mountain. The entrance to the valley is marked by Arian's Teeth, two tall rock spires. Okay, what is the Valley of the Wind? There are two valleys side by side on the northeast slopes of Red Mountain. The westmost valley is called a Dry Camp Valley. The camps have no water, but they are sheltered from the wind. Dan-Ah caverns are also there. The Valley of the Wind is the eastmost valley. It runs long and straight south between Aaron's Teeth and climbs towards Red Mountain. The mouths of these valleys are to the east along the coast, past Bethond, a Dwemer ruin, and just past Zerganopol, a Daedric ruin. Turn south. Alright, what about Arian's Teeth? Aaron's Teeth are two strong spikes at the mouth of the Valley of the Wind. The Valley of the Wind runs south from the sea in the northeast of Vardenfell, east of Dwemer Bethwand, east of Daedric Zerganopol. We stay away from the we stay away from the valley. The winds howl and the spirits are always awake. Dereleth, ancestral tomb, is in this valley. It is foolish to disturb the spirits in their resting place. Okay, what do you say about Red Mountain? Red Mountain is the great mountain of fire in the center of Vardenfell. The outer slopes are steep and rugged, and the craters deep and filled with burning rock. Beasts and servants of the devil Dagoth-Ur live on Red Mountain. The settled people built a magical barrier called Ghost Fence to keep the evils inside. Within the Ghost Fence, rain never falls and the sun never shines. The only weather is the red and deadly ash blight, which is the same thing other people have said. So Eye of the Needle was one. Does he have anything about the other? Skin of the Pearl? You bear he says that again. This is important. Just a moment. You mentioned the needle in the Valley of the Wind. I recall at the top of that tall spire is not white, but much lighter than other rocks nearby. The head of the Valley of the Wind sits right under the needle. It is a good, safe campground, sheltered from wind, with only one approach. That whitish rock at the top of the needle, that might be the pearl you're looking for. And then Teeth of the Wind, which I think he's already answered about somebody's teeth, but okay. I will share what I know. I know no place of that name, but there is a place called Aaron's Teeth in the Valley of the Wind. These two rock spires mark the entrance to the Valley of the Wind, and they bear the name of the seer Aaron, one blessed by Azura. Okay, so there is then... Well, there's Zerganopol, and he said it was east or southish of Zerganopol. So I can see if I can find a tall spire with two spires and a white thing on top of it, and see if anybody else has anything interesting to say. What do you say about Aaron's Teeth? Spikes, mouth, valley wind, south. Stay away from the valley. Same thing. Okay, do you say anything different about Eye of the Needle? Nope. You say the same thing about Eye of the Needle. Alright, so that seems to be the information I need, and I need to head that way and then find where the Valley of the Wind is related to Zerganopol. 2 rock spires mark the entrance to the Valley of the Wind. They bear the name of the seer. These might be the teeth of the wind. Previous. Said there was whitish rock at the top of the needle. In the riddle, maybe a tall rock column in the Valley of the Wind. Okay, so I need to find the teeth first at the entrance to the valley. Then after entering the valley, I need to find the needle. So with that, I'm going to cut out and I'll come back if I locate the Azura's, whatever the heck it's called. All right, due to draw distance and the storm, it's kind of hard to tell, but these are 2 spires, and I am at a tower or a valley east of Zergonopol, so I think I'm in the right place. Now I have to find a singular spire with a whitish top. So I was just coming in to say, hey, this is here. I'll cut back out again and see if, or when I find the other clue. Alright, so there's this door. Looks very fancy. I'm not seeing anything that resembles a needle. I mean, this hill's kind of lighter on top. Maybe that's what it's referring to. They also said it's out of the wind, and this is definitely not out of the wind. There's very much so wind still. Alright, so, Cavern of the Incarnate. So yeah, this is it. It's just down here, kind of directly, not directly, maybe south-southeast from Zergonopol. And
in the dawn hour under Azura's star, the door is opened.
Oh, hey. Cool. I don't know what was said there. I'll have to listen to that when I get in the next one. That made no sense. I'll have to listen to that when I go through and do the editing. You are... Oh, hey. Moon and Star. Constant effect. Fortify personality, 5 points on self. And fortify speechcraft, 5 points on self.
Nerevar reborn. Incarnate. Your first 3 trials are finished. Now, 2 new trials lie before you. Seek the Ashlander Ashcans and the Great House Councillors. 4 tribes must name you Nerevarine. 3 houses must name you Hortator. My servant, Nabane Mesa, shall be your guide. And when you are Hortator and Nerevarine, when you have stood before the false gods and freed the heart from its prison, heal my people and restore Morrowind. Do this for me, and with my blessing.
Okay. It's interesting that I think they showed Vivek when she said false gods.
Yeah, I quite possibly. Which doesn't surprise me.
Okay. Peak Star. Wait, Peak Star sounds familiar. Welcome, Incarnate, Moon and Star, Reborn, Ortator, Nerevarine, Mourner of the Tribe Unmourned, Redeemer of the False Gods. I am Peak Star. I was not the one, but I wait and hope. Ask, and I shall answer, if wisdom guides me. Well, what do you mean by you are not the one? I am a failed incarnate. So are all these who remain here with me in the Cavern of the Incarnate. I survived the Blight, but I fell in battle with an ash vampire. I could not master the arts of war, nor could I learn the ways of the great houses. They would not have accepted me as Hortator. Take these few poor things, they are of no use to me. Aww. An embroidered belt and a travel-stained pants have been added. All right, what about Hortator? You must go before the counselors of the great houses and satisfy them, for only the counselors of the great councils of the great houses can name you Hortator. I do not know the settled people of the great houses, and can offer you no counsel. Okay, what about Moon and Star? You bear the Moon and Star, the ring of Nerevar. None may deny you are Nerevar reborn, the prophesied incarnate. The temple will know you as an enemy. Ordinators will mark you for death, and the tribunal faithful of the great houses will hate and fear you. The doubters of the tribes will test your strength and doubt your honor. You will be known. You must prepare and be ready. Okay, Nerevarine. You must go before the Ashkans of the waste people and satisfy them, for only the Ashkans of the 4 tribes can name you Nerevarine. Speak first with Sul-Matul of the Ushalaku, and with wise woman Nabani Mesa. For all the Ashlanders, they are wisest in the lore of the Incarnate, and you have already shown Sul-Matul proof of your worth. Okay, Tribe Unmourned. Pity Dagoth-Ur and the 6th house. All they do, all they are, is foul and evil, but they began in brightness and honor, and the cause of their fall was their loyal service to you, Lord Nerevar. You told Lord Dagoth to guard the profane tools beneath Red Mountain, and thus he was tempted. He did your bidding when he tried to keep these tools from the tribunal, and so he hates you, who betrayed him, and the tribunal, who mocked his honor, attacked him, and stole the profane tools for their own use. So it's actually kind of both accurate. That's interesting. What about false gods? The tribunal and Dagoth-Ur have the unnatural abilities and lifespans of gods, but they gained these things by actions that mock the gods and misuse divine power. They were ambitious and unwise, and the consequences of these ungodly acts threaten all that lives in Morrowind. And finally, wisdom guides me. I will answer when I can, and with what I know, but the visions of Azura are often obscure for 2 reasons. 1, because the future cannot be known, and choices may always be made. 2, because the truth is not clear or simple. Azura's riddles warn us to think long and hard. They force us to search carefully for truth and meaning, and not to rely only on impulse and force. I think then all I have... What?
Profane tools?
Yep, I was going to say, I think that's all I have left. Kagranak, High Priest of the Dwemer, forged enchanted artifacts to steal the power of the gods. Nerevar fought the Dwemer to prevent this blasphemy, but Dagoth-Ur took these tools to make himself a god, and the tribunal took these tools to make themselves gods. Though the tribunal sought to do good with their power, they are tainted by the same corrupt desires that move Dagoth-Ur. Alright then. What is your trade, since you're kind of just in here? Ancestor has no trade, but to guard and counsel the living kin. Okay. Well, what say you, Antaria? Welcome, Incarnate. I am Antaria. I was not the one, but I wait and hope. Ask, and I shall tell you my story. Alright, what is your story? I was a holy crusader of the temple in the golden era of the tribunate. I contributed substantially to the writings that were later suppressed by the temple, and now would be called apocrypha. I followed the tribunal unquestioningly, to my regret. I never believed in the Nerevarine prophecies until it was too late. Take my humble possessions with my blessing. 36 Lessons of Vivek, Sermon 12, has been added to my inventory, and Antaria's Mace has been added to my inventory. I may not be able to move after I'm done here. Do you say anything about your trade? Yeah, you say the same thing. Okay. What do you say about the Nerevarine? You are the Nerevarine, you are the Incarnate, you are the one, you must not fail. Is background the same as my story? No. I was called to the prophecies, but I was not the one. Okay. Alright, so each of them then appears to give me a gift and give me just a little bit more information. This is Error Dan. Welcome, Incarnate. I am Error Dan. I was not the one, but I wait in hope. Okay, what is your story? I saw Morrowind fall to the Empire. I lived through the humiliation of the surrender, swore hatred and vengeance against Imperial and Tribunal alike for their betrayals. In later years I despaired and turned to Red Mountain, where I grew old and died fighting the Blight and Red Mountain monsters. Take my weapons and armor. I have no further use of them. Eridan's spear, Eridan's cuirass. Okay. Is there? Yes, there is another 2 here. All right. Idrini Narathan. Okay, she says the same thing. What is your story? I lived in the late years of the Tribunate, and behind the scenes I helped us demoralize, then repel the Akaviri invaders. I knew nothing of the Neverine or Dagoth until I took refuge with the Ashlanders. I died a fool, trying to loot ruined Kagoran. Here, take these. Maybe there's something in the world left worth stealing. Master's lockpick and Master's probe. Yes, definitely stuff in the world left worth stealing. All right, this is Kanun Chodala. What is your story? I was an Ashkan. I led my people against the Akaviri while the Cyrodiil dogs fled before them like Kaguri. Kaguri? I quested deep into the strongholds in Red Mountain, cleansing the unclean things in their own blood. I did not heed the counsel of the women, and, to my shame, I craved glory, but never saw my real enemies. My axe and boots are yours, with my blessing. So I got axe and boots, neither of which I will use because I don't wear boots as a, and I can't get through there. That's a bummer. Go around a long way, and I have not talked to Hortled. So this is Hortled. What is your story? I died 400 years ago, in the last days of turmoil and unrest after the Empire came to Morrowind. I was a thinker and not a doer, and though I was marked by the stars, I was not a hero. Take these things of mine, my bones won't complain. Sithis has been added to my inventory, and Hortled's robe. Okay, what do you say about Morrowind? A darkness is on the land, and only you can bring light. Okay, so, I got a bunch of stuff. I don't know what most of it does, so let's see if I can find it all. So the mace is damage speed and damage agility, plus some decent damage, but I'm not using blunt weapons. The axe, fortify attack 10 points for 30 seconds on self, and it's cast when used. Eridan's spear is poison 5 to 11 points. Kanun Chodala's boots, fortify endurance 10 points for 30 seconds on self, fortify speed 10 points for 30 seconds on self. Eridan's cuirass is medium, so I won't be wearing it because I'm using light armor. Restore health 11 points on self, and restore fatigue 20 points on self. That's nice. Amulets, oh wait, this is Balina's antidote. That doesn't matter. Okay. Slow falling, embroidered belt. Oh, yes, embroidered belt. Fortify willpower 10 points. Hortled's robe, turn undead 6 to 60 points for 30 seconds on target, and shield 5 points for 30 seconds on self. The belt I already had. Moon and star I actually want to equip. Ring of shadow form I already had. A travel stained pants. Levitate 10 points for 30 seconds on self. Oh hey, that's a shorter levitate than the wizard staff, which will be helpful in some instances and not so helpful in others, but beneficial. And then 30 lessons of Vivek Sermon 12. I'm going to guess this will give me a skill up? Yes, I have gained heavy armor skill. Yay. Okay, so that wasn't as useful as I was hoping. And then Sithis is also a book. Okay. But it didn't give me anything. I don't think I already have Sithis. So Sithis says, Sithis is the start of the house. Before him was nothing, but the foolish Altmer have names for and revere this nothing. That is because they are lazy slaves. Indeed, from the sermons, stasis asks merely for itself, which is nothing. Sithis sundered the nothing and mutated the parts, fashioning from them a myriad of possibilities. These ideas ebbed and flowed and faded away. This is how it should have been. One idea, however, became jealous and did not want to die. Like the stasis, he wanted to last. This was the demon Anui El, who made friends, and they called themselves the Aedra. They enslaved everything that Sithis had made and created realms of everlasting imperfection. Thus are the Aedra the false gods, that is, illusion. So Sithis begat Lorkhan and sent him to destroy the universe. Lorkhan, unstable mutant. Lorkhan had found the Adric weakness. While each rebel was by their nature immeasurable, they were, through jealousy and vanity, also separate from each other. They were also unwilling to go back to the nothing of before. So while they ruled their false dominions, Lorkhan filled the void with a myriad of new ideas. These ideas were legion. Soon it seemed that Lorkhan had a dominion of his own, with slaves and everlasting imperfections, and he seemed, for all the world, like an Aedra. Thus did he present himself as such to the demon Anui El and the 8 givers, as a friend. Go unto the Sharmat de Gathur as a friend. I Herma Mora, Altadun Padhom, Elkon I am confused. Not sure whether what just happened. Hold on. Oh, I put on the ring. That's what happened. Okay. Yeah. All right. So not a whole lot that I'm going to use there. I don't understand what Sithis is meant to provide. But now I guess I have to go back to Urshulaku camp and inform Nibani Mesa, and then she is going to help me know how to get the Ashkans and the houses to recognize me. The first is Nerevarine and the second as Ortator. So I will come back in when I have made it back to Urshulaku camp, because that's kind of far away. Alright, so I have made it back to Urshulaku camp. Now I'm going to go talk to Namani Mesa.
May you find me worthy of your attention.
I shall be your guide to the 7 trials on the path of the Nerevarine. Ask and I shall answer with Azura's blessing. Can I ask about the 3rd trial, since I just finished it, so far as I can tell? 3rd trial. Tell me what you saw and heard in the cavern of the Incarnate. She listens carefully. It is as I have seen in my dream. It is a true dream, sent from Azura to guide me. That doesn't help me. Alright, what about the 4th trial? If I ask about that, do you say something? The 4th trial is a stranger's voice unites the houses. 3 halls call him Ortator. When you have been named Ortator by each of the 3 great houses of Vardenfell, come to me for further guidance, for you will have passed the 4th trial. Alright, well that's great, but what's an Ortator then? When a greater enemy threatens, the great houses put aside their quarrels and choose an Ortator, a single war leader to lead all the houses. Only a great house council can name an Ortator, and all the councils must agree. Speak with the Redoran counselors, Hlalu counselors, and Telvanni counselors. Prove to them that Dagoth threatens. When you are named Redoran Ortator, Hlalu Ortator, and Telvanni Ortator, only then will you be the Ortator named in prophecy. Okay. What about the Hlalu counselors? Go to Balmora, the chief town of the Hlalu. I believe the counselors meet there in a great house with many rooms. The Hlalu are soft and cowardly, sly and greedy. Their traitors are liars and cheaters. Look behind the words they speak for the truths they are hiding. Okay, what about Redoran counselors? Go to Eldrune, the chief town of the Redoran. They say the council meets under the shell of a giant emperor crab. The Redoran are proud and haughty, known as great warriors and great worshippers of the tribunal. Since they love the temple and Vivek, they cannot love you. The temple warriors hate the Nerevarine prophecies and will kill you if they see you. Be careful. Okay then. And then Telvanni counselors. I am told that wizards who speak for the Telvanni counselors may be found in a strange building in Sadrith Mora. The counselors themselves are ageless sorcerers living in the towers scattered over Vardenfell. I know nothing about them except that they are old, terrible, and evil. Alright, I get to try and become these people's Ortidors, huh? What about Redoran Ortidor, then? I do not know the ways of the settled people, but I do know, in the Council of Chiefs, you must cultivate a friend, and beware an enemy. Find one who is willing, or who is well disposed to you. Win him, and use him to win the others. In the most powerful chief, he is most likely an enemy, since he loves his power and hates to share it. Recognize your enemy, and prepare for him. Good advice. Hlalu Hortator? The Hlalu are great traders, keen for profit, and subtle with words. It will be hard to find someone you can trust, perhaps impossible. You may have to fight with words to find the truth. Beware of tricks and lies. Seek behind appearances. Look for hidden power. Be wary. Be suspicious. And then finally, Telvanari Hortator. I do not know the ways of wizards. I have heard they honor the tests of life and death as we do. The ones who live a long time. The ones who die are forgotten. They are old and strange and terrible. I know little, but I am afraid, and that is my counsel to you. Be afraid. It is no time to be bold and careless. It is no time to hoard your treasures. With wizards, there are no second chances. Alright, so it sounds like my next quest is to try to visit each of the councils and try and get them to recognize me as Hortator. And I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I'll start in Balmora. Because I'm going to start in Balmora, and I need to unload some equipment in Balmora. But before I do, someone mentioned talking to Sul-Matul, I think Azura did. So, you have passed the 3rd trial. Before you lies the 4th trial and 5th trial. I have spoken with Nabani Mesa, and I know these trials. You wish to be called Urshalaku Nerevarine, but first, would you hear the counsel of Sul-Matul? Now let's look at the 3rd trial. So, you have faced the 3rd trial in the Cavern of the Incarnate? Tell me what you saw and heard there. He listens carefully, with no sign of his feelings. It is as Nabani Mesa says. Perhaps you are the chosen one. We shall see. Okay, what do you say about the Urshalaku Nerevarine? First, you should hear the counsel of Sul-Matul. Okay, what is your counsel, Sul-Matul? Good. First, I would give you warning. When you are called Nerevarine, the word must spread, and many must hear. Your enemies will hear and come seeking your blood, and such friends as you may have among the great houses, those who heed the words of the temple, they may forget their love for you. If you have business with the people of the houses in the temple, you may wish to conduct that business first, before you are named Nerevarine. Second, I tell you, seek the counsel of wise woman Nabani Mesa, for you are an outlander, and ignorant of the ways of our people. Nabani Mesa can tell you of the other tribes, of their ways, and of their ashkans. If you do not know these things, you will make many mistakes, and waste precious time. That is my counsel. Now, if you wish to be named Urshalaku Nerevarine, we may speak of these things. I think I'm going to not, just because I don't want to tick off a bunch of people because he named me Nerevarine when I need to go talk and become Hortator first. So I'm going to say goodbye. Let's see what my journal says now. Sul-Matul has warned me that people of the great houses in the temple may be hostile when I am known as Nerevarine. Suggests that I take counsel with Nabani Mesa about the ways of the Ashlander tribes. Okay. So I will do that as, I think that's the 4th. No, 5th. Because the 4th is the Ortator. I think becoming the Nerevarine of the tribes is the 5th one. So let's see here. I don't have mana to cast Recall. Somewhere in here I have an Amulet of Divine Intervention, because I can use that to get to Nissus, and then I can go from Nissus to Balmora, and I will come back in Balmora. Alright, so back in Balmora, I'm going to go end this video in Caius' old house. It's unfortunate that Caius isn't still here. He'd probably be helpful in identifying who to talk to in the various houses. I think Redoran was here in Balmora. I'll probably look up where I'm supposed to go, because I don't want to just run around Balmora randomly talking to people, but I'll see if I can find out where House Redoran's council meets. Actually, you know what? Let me check local here real quick. Yeah, that doesn't work when you're in a room. Okay, never mind. Anyway, I'll figure out in the next video where I'm supposed to go, and for now, thanks all. Hello all, and thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please click the like button below. You can also subscribe using the channel image in the center of the video. If you are interested in more content in this video series, to the left is a link to the full playlist. Alternatively, when it is available, to the right will be a link to the next video in the series. Thanks all.